Welcome to another Workflow Wednesday. My name is Jamie Gruol, and I have a very important TaxDome training for you today. If you are using TaxDome and you don't have your automated pipeline set up or any pipeline set up at this point, this training is going to help you see the process for getting ready for tax season. So I'm going to share with you today 3 critical things you must do in order to prepare your TaxDome for tax season. The things I'm going to share are critical because they are proven. We have helped nearly 1,000 practices implement TaxDome, and I've helped a lot of practices, dozens and dozens, implement TaxDome as a one-on-one consultant. If we haven't had the chance to meet yet, I'm Jamie Gruol, and after helping over 500 tax and accounting practices implement automation with TaxDome, I can confidently say that automation is the only way to increase your profit and time freedom in your practice. And I can tell you, I have seen it all. And I want to tell you the secrets to being prepared for your tax season and the things that I see successful, stress-free, organized tax professionals doing as they head into their tax season. And I'm going to share those things with you today. So if we haven't met, as I mentioned, I'm Jamie Gruol, and I am the co-founder of Workflows for Tax Pros, and we help small practices implement TaxDome and get it operational in their practice. Now, we don't just teach you how to set up TaxDome. No, we're giving you best practices, practical application of TaxDome to your practice, and giving you proven workflows and pipelines that are meant to help the small practice create efficiency. And when you implement the systems that I'm about to teach you about, you're actually going to start saving 10 hours a week per team member because of eliminating administrative tasks, things that are manual, having documents in multiple places, having information in multiple places. All of that goes away and it simplifies your practice into one place. TaxDome is an amazing practice management tool, and if you haven't heard of it, you definitely need to check it out. And if you're a small practice, I can tell you it's not too late to implement TaxDome now before tax season. If you've been using TaxDome for a while and you're like, I know it can do so much, I just don't have time to figure it out, you are not alone. My co-founder, Jessica Smith, she figured this out 4 years ago and came up with the methods that laid the foundation for workflows for tax pros. And I can tell you, she spent 100 hours preparing for tax season. That was one pipeline that she did. What we do at Workflows for Tax Pros is we make all of that simple and easy to follow, and we help you set it up in, specifically help you set up your tax prep pipeline in about 12 hours. So we're definitely knocking off that learning curve and giving you all the practical things that we have learned in helping nearly 1,000 practices implement this workflow and these methods into their work, the way that they're operating, and helping them to get back that precious time that they are honestly craving in their lives. They want more time with their families. They want more time to take care of themselves. They want more time to travel, to be more virtual so that they can travel even during tax season and know that they're able to get into their businesses, manage their clients, keep things moving, even if they want to take some time away. So let's get into this training, shall we? Because I've got some good things, and prepare yourselves because I am going to give you a lesson today. One of the things that I often hear is I have people come to me all the time that are like, I need you to help me set this up. I don't have time. I know you don't have time. You are a busy practice owner. And when we're busy, we all of a sudden feel like we don't have time to add anything else, even if that adding of effort is going to save us time. One of my favorite sayings is sometimes we have to slow down to speed up. And right now it's December, and I know you have a lot of things on your to-do list. You've got to get ready for the holidays with your family. You've got to get your clients ready for year end. You've got to make sure that all of the tax planning is completed so that they can take advantage of the amazing work that you're doing with your clients. But you also have to start preparing for tax season. And what if you could dedicate 3 hours a week for the next 4 weeks and know that you're going to have a stress-free, organized tax season that's going to get you back 10 or more hours a week just by implementing a system that can help you work better? I'm telling you, it is worth the effort. It is worth the time. It is worth the energy. And it is worth you dropping a time block on your calendar and saying, this is my dedicated priority 1 time to get my TaxDome set up. That is the first thing you need to do. But to do that and to know that you want to do that, you have to create a vision for what you want. If you want to stop having in-person meetings with your clients to review returns, you can do that. If you want to have a calendar that doesn't have your evenings and weekends blocked out to do the client work and preparing the returns and preparation for appointments the next day, you can do that. But what it takes is having a better vision for how you work. And I can tell you, if you've been working heads down and doing it the same way for the last 10, 20, 30 years, and now you're trying to find a new and better way to work because your clients are demanding it, because your family is demanding it, because your physical body is demanding it, we have the solution for you. And I'm going to share that with you today. But the thing that you need to be thinking about is, what is that vision that I have for my business? None of us can ever get to a destination if we don't know first where we're going. If you jumped in your car today and just started driving, where do you think you'd end up? Lord knows, right? Maybe on a back road on a mountain in the snow, and I think you're in real trouble. But if you're trying to get from your home to the next, to maybe like Los Angeles, right? You can't do that unless you know how to get there. And that's what maps do. That's what directional devices do. They guide us to our final destination. And when it comes to our businesses, the vision that you have for your business is that GPS. That is the thing that's going to take you to your ultimate destination. And it may take you 2 or 3 years to get there, but it is worth doing the work starting today, because as the old saying goes, there's no better time to plant a tree, or yesterday was the best time to plant a tree, but the next best time is today. That's the saying. And what that means is we can keep putting it off. We can keep saying, I'm too busy. I don't have time. I don't have the resources. I don't have the understanding of how to do it. We can keep making the excuses, or we can decide that we want to change. We all have that choice. So I'm giving you a choice today. And I'm starting with this as number one. Secret number one is, are you ready to make the choice to change the way in which you operate your business, to change the methods in which you are serving your clients, to know that your clients are going to be better served because of the decision that you make today, because of that choice? That is what you need to do as secret number one. Decide that something has to change. And so when you make that decision, I want for you to take 5 minutes. This is your action item. I want for you to take 5 minutes, and I want you to think about all of the things that are currently in your business that are not working for you. Maybe it's the fact that you feel locked into your brick and mortar. Maybe it's the fact that you feel locked into having to meet with your clients or providing them an outlet to drop off documents to you. All of those pain points, the things that are not ideal in your work and in the business that you have today. And I then want you, for another 5 minutes, is to go through each of those pain points, each of those things that are not working. And I want you to flip it. And I want you to think about, what would it look like if I didn't have to do that? What if I told myself that is not required of me and this business? Because it's not. We get to create our businesses and make them look like what we want them to look like. Do you have to work within a certain kind of bump guardrail of preparing taxes? Yes, there's a process to preparing taxes, but the way in which you prepare them, that does not have to be you locked in for the next 20 years as you finish out your career. We get to make the decision of how we operate, of how we deliver. And thanks to technology, we can make drastic changes in what our future looks like by implementing systems, by implementing technology, by looking at how others are doing it and adopting those ways as our own. And the powerful thing is, you can see people out there celebrating their businesses where they're working part-time, they're making multiple 6 figures, they have a part-time team, they're not spending all of their time every week, 50, 60 hours a week, hunched over their computer keyboards and digging through paper. There are people out there that are operating a business in the way that you want to be. And I can tell you, my co-founder, Jessica, she owns a practice, and she's done exactly that. She has built a multi-6-figure business. She's working 30 hours or less year round. She is holding boundaries with her clients and creating relationships with clients where there is respect both ways. This is available to you. She's not chasing down her clients to get documents. She's letting technology do that for her. She's not reminding her clients that an invoice is due. She's letting technology do that for her. She's not carrying accounts receivable because she's letting technology require payment before they sign the 8879. These are things that are available to you too. You just have to decide. You have to make the choice that I want to change. So do that little exercise of 5 minutes of what is not working for me today. What do I want to change? What do I wish I could change? What do I hate doing year after year, but I feel like I have to do it? Then make a list of what it would look like if you didn't have to do that. For example, my clients require me to be in the office, or my admin to be in the office 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, to drop off documents in the event that, or because they refuse to use my portal, or because I don't think that they'll use my portal. What would it look like if you didn't have to do that? What if it didn't, you making the decision for your client didn't have to play in, right? It could look like me having an online portal where my clients quickly upload documents to me through an app that acts as a scanner in their home on their mobile device that they already have. And maybe I make myself available at a mailbox if they want to mail me documents, but I don't have to be there to accept it, and I can eliminate my rent. What if you didn't have to meet in person with every single person, or on Zoom with every single person to do return reviews? What if you didn't have to chase them down on a phone to let them know that their taxes are higher this year and you feel bad for it because that's not what they were expecting? What if you could do it in another way that allowed you the asynchronicity, where you could send them a very thoughtful, educational video that lets them know exactly what the outcome was? What if? Those are the things you need to start thinking about. And also thinking about, how can you have access to people that are going to let you think bigger, get you out of your blinder situation of this is how we've always done it, and say, oh, there's other ways of doing these things. There's creative ways of doing these things. These people are doing it, it's working for them. How can we adopt that over the next 2 to 3 years? And start creating that vision of what you want in your business. This exercise is the #1 most important thing that people that implement new ways of working don't do, because again, they don't have the GPS turned on telling them exactly where they want to go. They're just driving around on streets, throwing this in, putting in more gas, heading down this street, see where it takes them, and all of a sudden they're trying to get over here, but they're way off over here. Right? And it doesn't take a lot to get back on route, but you need to know exactly where you're trying to go if you want to get there. All right. #2. The secret to preparing your practice is preparing your systems and your team. If you have TaxDome and you're using it, you're new to it, maybe in the last 3 to 6 months, maybe you have had it for a year and you're just using it as a signature tool and a portal where people can upload their documents to you, you are missing out on the power of automation. And automation is not client unfriendly. Automation is a client-friendly, through a client-friendly approach, is critical to your success. It is critical to you being able to focus on the services that you are being paid for. People are not paying you to push paper and send reminders and follow up with them. I mean, maybe some of them are. They love to have the babysitter, right? They can't adult well enough to do it themselves, but even automation can help you with that, right? If they're paying you a lot of money to be their follow-up machine and to be their babysitter, then that's one thing. But most of your clients, especially your tax preparation clients, they're not paying you enough to be that babysitter hand holding them across the line. I love the analogy of meeting them at the 50-yard line. Your job is out the process and the boundaries and the expectations of how you're going to deliver the services to them, how they're going to get their desired outcome, which is a prepared return with the lowest amount of taxes paid, that's directly filed, so that they worry about future amendments and/or IRS knocking on their door, right? That's what they're hiring you for. You as the professional can meet them at the 50 to leave the 10-yard line. You can't help that. But you can put systems in place that maybe will get them to meet you at the 40-yard line. And you're going to get most of the way there, and it's going to make life a whole lot less stressful for you trying to get them to the 50-yard line, so that you can actually play the game with them and provide the most amount of value to them. But if they're not willing to meet you there, are they an ideal fit? Are they the clients you want to work with? You have to decide that for yourself, but I want you to be thinking about that. So what can you do to meet them at the 50-yard line? What can you do to implement systems and automations to power those systems to help you get to that 50-yard line without exhausting yourself and pulling them to that 50-yard line? to meet you. That is what TaxDome automation can do, is let's pull them to the 50-yard line so that we can meet face to face and we can meet to truly solve this problem that they have and truly provide the results that they're looking for without it being detrimental to you and your health. So I wanted to kind of preface that. So there are several things that I want you to think about, and I'm going to share my screen with you now because I want to pull up the TaxDome system to walk you through what I'm thinking here and the way that I want you to approach this. So I am in my practice TaxDome. Please disregard any messes you see here because we have a lot of test clients and things in here. But what I wanted to lay out for you today is how can you prepare for those automations in TaxDome? And I want to give you around how you can prepare your pipelines and get your process going of having automated pipelines. So when we're looking at TaxDome, TaxDome is a practice management tool, and the pipelines are the automated workflows that we use to drive the actions of our process. These are our steps of our process. So for example, tax preparation. The general workflow of tax preparation is that clients are going to come on board. You're going to have to onboard them, get the engagement letter signed. You're going to have them pay their deposit if that's something you do. You're going to need to deliver them the organizer to gather the information about their tax year, to bring them in and have them meet you at that 50-yard line. This is them meeting you at the 50-yard line. So we're going to send a kickoff email. We're going to send a communications agreement. We're going to send an engagement letter and an invoice for a minimum fee deposit because we want to improve our cash flow of our small practice. All of this gets done automatically. Once they've paid my invoice and signed my engagement letter, I then can send them my organizer that's going to be like an asynchronous, meaning they can do it on their own time, interview that is going to guide the client through questions that are pertinent to the tax year that they just had. And it's going to get you the information that you need as a tax professional to prepare a complete return that is actually reflective of the tax year they had. Did they buy a rental property? Did they have a new baby? Did they get married? Did they lose a spouse? All of those are questions that are asked of the individual based on the answers that they're giving. So if they had a very simple tax year and they had one W-2, nothing changed, easy peasy, their organizer is very simple. But if they had a more tax year because they started a side hustle, they joined an MLM and they made thousands of dollars that they never were expecting, you can gather the information without you having to be aware of that. They just answer a question and say, oh yeah, I started a business this year. Great, tell me all about that. And they will be asked and prompted to answer that question. But again, if they don't have those types of scenarios, then they have a very simple outcome. So that is what the organizers allow us to do. So all of this is our onboarding of our tax preparation, right? And again, what I'm showing you here is our signature tax prep pipeline that accommodates both individuals and businesses, and even your offline 100% paper clients, those legacy clients that we know and love that we just can't help but serve because they've been with us for years and years. And we want to make sure that we take care of our legacy members and the elders of our community and make sure that they can have access to amazing services and amazing support from you. But we want to make sure that we're not letting anyone fall through the cracks. And so when we have everything in this automated pipeline, we can make sure that everybody is moving along through our process. So onboarding, that's the first step. The second is preparing the return. You're going to prepare the return depending on the size of your practice. You may be a solo practitioner, or you may have some team members that you need to manage and you need to have them assigned work so that they can prepare the return and you can just manage the review. We can automate all of this, making sure that nobody gets left behind, that we're constantly updating our clients through our status updates, making sure that they're aware of where things are at, reducing those questions in, and we're guiding them and breadcrumbing them to success all along the way. We're making sure that they're informed. Signatures, right? We need to give them approval to say that, yes, I'm ready to sign off. Yes, I approve return you've prepared for me. We love the return reveal method. This is our proven method that allows you to send a video review, not having to schedule appointments with your clients, but it gets you to step into the role of the professional. So how can we automate that? That is a huge piece of this. Finally, we have the offboarding where we get the 8879 signed, we e-file, we give them their offboarding documents, we show them exactly where to go to either get information on their refund or information on how they file their payments. That is all of the things that we need to be doing in offboarding, and all of this is the thing you need to be thinking about as preparing your pipeline. So what is the method for creating these pipelines? I want to give you high level what that process looks like so you can create yours. Again, You don't have to spend that 100 hours. As I told you already, we can help you do it in about 12 hours to get this pipeline up, ready, and dialed in for your tax season with workflows for tax pros. Do it. If workflows isn't right for you, if it's not the right timing for you, So I want to give you high level, how does one prepare a pipeline? Number one, you need to document your pipelines. You need, or your process, your existing process today. So you need to write down all the steps of your process. I send an engagement letter. I send a deposit invoice. I am using Ignition to do X, Y, and Z, whatever that process is today. You need to document all of that. Make sure that as you're documenting that, you're also documenting the things that you're sending to the things that you're using internally to manage the client. So it could be update the spreadsheet with the date of sending the organizer to the client, update with the date that I am receiving at the office. Whatever the process is, document how you're currently doing it today. And I want you to think about this. The next step is you need to think about, once you have all of that documented, having an opportunity to go back over that list. I am currently updating an Excel spreadsheet with the date in which the documents are received, because that's important for me to be able to identify who gets processed first, that in TaxDome. How can I make sure that date is triggering the details for my know that this is the first client that needs to be done? Now, I'm going to give you a tip there. TaxDome automatically does that for you, but where a client, how long they've been in a stage for the column, that is already done for you, which is great. So you need to start saying, okay, this is how we were doing it, and this is how TaxDome does it. What are the features or the things that I need to set up for that? So the way that you can hack this so that you're making sure that you're aware of all the features is, number one, is look at the firm templates. So the firm templates is available under templates. These are all of the templates that TaxDome has that can be automated. So you can automate proposals and engagement letters. You can automate templates of tasks. You can automate organized templates. The templates, as the original, creates a task specific to Sally's account to be assigned out to our tax preparer to go and prepare the return. But each of these firm templates can be automated out to the client account and for the client to take action on. So you want to pull up the list and you want to say, okay, if we're sending a proposal and engagement letter, then we need to create a TaxDome proposal and engagement letter. So then your next step is, once you've identified the templates, that you need to go and create those templates. So you'll need to create all of your proposals and engagement letters. You need to go and create all of your tasks, all of your client-facing job statuses, so the client's being updated and informed. Creating your organizers that are going to be that guided interview, to be creating the chats that are going to breadcrumb your client to success, and the emails to send the kickoffs and make sure that the client is informed and getting the updates that they need along the way. Those are the things that you need to go and do second. So you're going to document your process and map it to the existing process, to the things and features in TaxDome that you can use. You're going to make sure the next step is create all the templates to those features, the templates that you need to create in TaxDome, so that you have them for each of the steps that you've documented. And then the third step is you need to go and create your pipeline. So the pipelines, as we mentioned, we take all of those templates we created and we make the pipeline, trigger them out at the appropriate steps. So you saw the columns in my original pipeline. Those are, each step is saying, I'm going to send a chat in the first stage. I'm going to send an organizer in the second stage. And so you're going to create the automations that are going to move through. And this is how you're going to get the automated pipelines that you were craving, that are going to start saving you time in your TaxDome system. But you need to make sure that you make time for this. As we said at the beginning, you got to slow down to speed up. So how are you going to then, as your next step, how am I going to actually make the time for this? Make the time to build this out, to make sure that it's working the way I want it to. Because at step 4, you're going to test this. After you have built out your pipeline, you're going to test the pipeline to make sure that it works in the way that you want. And this is the most important step, because if you aren't testing your pipeline, you're not going to feel confident in what you set up. You need to make sure that you're able to create or to move a client through and have the actions happen the way you want it to. So you want to be thinking about, what are the client scenarios that I have, and creating fake clients so that you can test those through. Don't use real clients for this. use fake clients. You can create fake test accounts that you can have in your TaxDome system so you can test those through. So you're like, okay, great. I'm going to spend 100 hours fixing this and setting this all up. I don't want to do that. Great, join workflows. We can give you our signature pipeline. We will set you up, get it dialed in, add it as a done for you service into your TaxDome system, get you set up with not only tax prep, but also bookkeeping, the recurring monthly bookkeeping, and also our new lead onboarding pipeline that are going to transform the way you work and get you those 10 hours back almost immediately as soon as you implement them. But there's another step that you need to have here. You need to get your team ready. So once you have gone through the testing, you yourself are now a confident user, right? Like you now understand. Now your fifth step is that you need to come in and you need to teach your team their roles within the pipeline. And that is going to vary based on the role. If you have an admin who's going to be helping you with documenting or managing the documents that come in, you need to show them how to do that. If you're going to have a tax preparer, you're going to show them, they're going to get a task assigned to them, and this is what they need to do, right? So you need to sit down with each of your team members and make sure that they understand how they fit into your pipeline and the process in which they're going to take so that they can be successful, in the pipeline for this tax season. Because you can create those fake clients, they can sit down with you, you guys can run one through together so they can see what's happening in the onboarding and they're aware. But then when they do get assigned those tasks, what's going to happen? What am I going to see? Let them see that from their experience and you will have things off and running. Now, the third secret that I'm going to touch on here and that we're going to wrap this training up is you need to get your clients ready, right? These changes to automated workflows are amazing for the firm. Please don't forget your clients. Make sure you go through and when you're doing your build, you're thinking about the client experience. You need to be thinking about, are there instructions about how to take the actions within the TaxDome system? We have built that into all of our communications that we have that go out to our clients. We're trying to make things easier for the client to adopt our systems, to adopt TaxDome, to make this a no-brainer for them to be like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I didn't think I would like a portal, but I love the portal. I love the increased communication. I love the ease of getting you my documents. I love the ease of paying you and signing, like all of the wins there, right? But we will only get that if we prepare our clients for the change and we make it easy for them to adopt. So as you're building out your templates and you're building out your emails and your chats and trying to get your clients to meet you at that 50-yard line that we talked about, you need to be thinking about, how do I educate them and make it easy for them to adopt? How do I help answer the questions proactively before they ever get there? We've spent 4 years updating these templates, making them think about, if I'm looking at this in the client portal, how is that different than if I'm looking at this on the web address or on the website? If I'm getting this and I need to sign, what does that mean to me? Where am I going to see the blocks? Where am I going to see where my payments go? Like, how am I doing that? So the client experience is critical in thinking about how you can be proactive. And this is something you can build over years. And that's what we have done at Workflows and with our signature templates. But you need to be thinking about, how do I make my clients' lives easier and proactively answer their questions? And that's what you can do within the chats that you send to them and within the emails that you send to them. So something to think about as you meet, as tax season approaches, you need to be communicating now with your clients, or as soon as you can with your clients, the tax season is going to look a little different this year. And here's how we're adjusting our processes and policies. Here's how we're going to use the portal. Here's how we're going to make this a great experience for you by using our secure portal. And make sure you sell it to them through the lens of the client. It's not about you and you working less or making things easier for you. It's about the security of the information that you have on your clients. It's about making sure that you're able to respond more quickly because they're answering or they're asking questions in the chats within TaxDome portal. It's about making sure that they understand that their documents are always going to be available to them 24/7 so that they can locate last year's return or have the information that they need to make sure that their books are always current and that their documents are always available to them so that they can deal with other outside requests for that type of information. It's about the client experience and the benefits there. So use that lens as you're creating your content. And Like I said, start communicating now. Maybe consider sending 3 emails over the next month that say, hey, we're moving to TaxDome. It's going to be amazing. We're going to start doing deposits here. It's going to be amazing. Here's what you can expect. Here's how the portal is going to work. Here's how our communication is going to look this year. Here's what our cutoff deadlines are going to look like. Here's what our service benefits are going to be this year. Start communicating those things now. And then when you are ready to kick off your tax season in January, mid-January, whatever that is for you, it's not going to be a shock to your clients, and they're going to much more easily absorb that change. I was, as a project manager in my healthcare IT days, we did a lot of change management training, because you can't just throw something at somebody, whether it's an employee or a client or a stakeholder. You can't just throw it at them and expect them not to have some shock in it and not to have some questions. You need to give them the outlet for asking those questions, for voicing their concerns, so that you can respond to that, so that you can then be the leader in the change process and make sure that you're getting them to meet you at that 50-yard line, because that's how it's going to happen. It's going to happen through setting expectations, through communicating what's expected of them, through making sure that they understand the value of what you're changing to, and then showing them that value through the methods that you're implementing. So you need to think about that. Yep, I just wanted looking at my notes, make sure I didn't forget anything. But these 3 secrets are honestly the things that have made all of the clients that we have implemented successful. 1, they had a vision for what they wanted to create, and they weren't afraid to invest the time now to slow down a bit so that they could speed up later. The people that you hear saying, I grew my practice by 30% without having to hire anyone. I am working less while growing my practice. Although I'm making multiple 6 figures while working 30 hours a week. All of those people, what they have in common is they did the work. They did the work today so that they could have the benefit tomorrow. And again, this doesn't have to be something that you turn on for 100% of your people, or expect everyone to adopt a TaxDome portal. We can help you make this a transition period, or we can help you make it a plan for you on how you can implement this over a 2-year period and really get to a more streamlined, more virtual practice over 2 or 3 years. But you've got to start somewhere, because I can tell you today that a good chunk of your clients are probably glad to migrate to this. There is a lot of talk about what clients are wanting. And I think it's like TaxDome just did a big study, and they're releasing next week, but that there is 80%, 85%, I think Ilya said, of the survey that they did of 1,000 of your clients want these portals. They want this electronic access. Now, maybe this is not your 75-year-old client, but the people that are growing wealth in this community or in this country right now, or in the country where you're located, this is worldwide, the 30 and 40-year-olds don't want your paper. They don't want your old school ways of working. So you need to start adopting this. If you want to have a remaining 10 or 15 or 25 years of your practice to be peaceful and organized and technology like supported, now is the time to implement this. And this tax season is a great time to do it. I don't know about you, but I need urgency. I need pressure. I'm a procrastinator. And so having something push me to that line and just say, okay, it's time, go time. Now is the time. So I want to invite you, if you are ready and all these things sound amazing, you're like, yes, I have TaxDome. Yes, I need this. Yes, I know I need to go through this process. And you're like, I don't have 100 hours to do this. Workflows for Tax Pros is enrolling today. It will be enrolling for the next foreseeable future, because I know there are people out there that need our help. And I want to help you. I want to help you have your tax season ready in 12 hours. I want to see you be automated so that you can get 10 hours a week back for your family. That is our mission in life, is freedom. Jessica and I are both driven by freedom for ourselves, for our clients, for you as an industry. We want to help you have more freedom in your life so that you can have time in relationships with your family, so you can have more financial freedom, so you can have more freedom to take care of yourself and enjoy this life that is so fleeting. So let us be your guides. Let us be your support. And if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me at workflowsfortaxpros.com, or you can drop me an email at hello@workflowsfortaxpros.com, or send me a DM. I'm available to support you in making this very big decision and process that can take a lot, to make it less overwhelming, to simplify it, and to guide you through proven methods that have been implemented in nearly 1,000 practices at this point, and make sure that you are able to succeed in implementing technology, shifting to a more virtual operation, and ultimately having the freedom that you desire. So thank you for tuning in for this training. We will be back after the holidays to share more with you about how we can continue to help. And anybody that does join now, we are going to be hosting in January a fast action boot camp that is going to just give additional resources to those people that are trying to get set up for January, and some additional one-on group time, live trainings with our team so that we can support you in making that happen. We recognize that it can be a stressful time, and we want to be the peaceful resource that will help you make it happen. All right, so thank you so much for being here. We'll see you again next time, and until then, happy automating.